I'm talking to you on the day that President Biden is expected to endorse changing the Senate rules to pass new voting rights protections. During his speech in Atlanta, voting rights has been something you certainly have been very passionate about. Most progressive, most activists, most Democrats have, because they understand that basically our democracy is on the brink. Um, and while he isn't calling for a complete elimination of the filibuster, even though he should, he is instead calling for a filibuster carve out. One, how does this filibuster carve out work, just for the people listening so they understand how this is done?
Yeah, so right now, I'm not sure exactly what is going to be on the table, what they're talking about, how they're talking about carving it out at this point.
Mhm.
We've just been very intentional about making it clear that, you know, thank you for wanting to do a carve out, but what we really need is abolishment. And Because when we do a carve out for it, when we say that we are going to allow a filibuster, we're going to allow like this seat to happen with the filibuster for voting rights, so we can get voting rights across the board. But we have all of this other legislation that's sitting in the Senate that we feel is very important, and the people have been asking for this legislation as well. When we talk about immigration reform, police reform, PRO Act for our unions, rights for our LGBTQ community, and so much more that's just sitting. We want to see voting rights happen, absolutely, but the people have been asking for all of this stuff for such a long time, and we have the White House, we have the Senate, and we have the House. Why can't we get these things across? So that's what our push is right now.
Well, how meaningful overall is it that President Biden is finally saying, hey, we need this carve out, and seemingly being a little bit more activated when it comes to voting rights, even though, again, from the beginning, everybody knew this had to be step one. Step one had to be securing voting rights, stopping this massive wave of Republican led legislation in terms of voter suppression. So, how meaningful is it that he's in Atlanta speaking to this now?
I think that one thing is, who has been doing the work in Georgia? Let's say just Georgia, because that's where he is. Who has been doing the work to turn out the vote, to get people registered, to get people to show up? Who has been fighting this? As an activist, I am strong in always remembering who has been doing the groundwork. And so for me, what do the people on the ground say they need from me? Because they're the ones that did the work to get that to take the Senate and to help make sure that the White House happened with a Democrat. So what are they saying that they need right now? Because I need to be the most helpful. I need to be the most effective and efficient in this moment as their president. And so finding out what they say they need, and if coming there to that state, coming to Atlanta, having giving some speeches and rallying people. If that's what they say they need, great. But is the message, we need you all to stand with us, and we need to be unified, and we need to work together, and we need to, push your legislators? Or is the message, as the president, I have a duty to make sure that I am doing everything I can, every single tool in my toolbox, to get people, the folks in Congress, especially the Senate, to get this done. That is my promise. That is my work for you. But the other thing is that what they need? Is that what they want right now? And so that's the other thing for me. I'm a very boots to the ground person. So as the activist, I'd be, is it come and give a speech, or do we want you to come and hit some doors with us? Is it that we want you to come? Like, that's the thing. So I haven't been a part of those conversations, so I don't know. But I just feel like we have to use whatever we can, and sometimes we have to stretch ourselves. And when I was out there on those steps of the Capitol fighting for people to not lose their homes, trying to get that eviction moratorium extended, I couldn't it was just, what do I have in my toolbox? Like, who am I? What can I pull from me? Who am I? What can I offer this world? And that was it in that moment. And hopefully our president can do the same.
Yeah, because even with him doing this, the reality is that this is still something that has to be approved by all 50 uh, Democratic senators. Okay, and we know of two who ain't gonna do this shit. All right, Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. And I think seeing their constant obstruction is just very disheartening for people. I mean, as you know, Representative Bush, Black people laid it on the line to get this man in office, right?
Yeah.
Shortcomings and all. We knew what we was getting, all right? So we laid it on the line. You mentioned the organizers, boots on the ground, my friend Latasha Brown with Black Voters Matter. Yes, your friend as well. She's on the ground. What up, LB? Her and Cliff Albright have done everything possible to try to fortify the Black vote in Georgia. And, I guess for everybody, it is a little disheartening to see that something like Build Back Better, which I'll get into a little bit more with you, legislation that could change people's lives are being blocked by these two clowns. And I just wonder, how concerned are you about the ripple effect that their obstruction could have on the rest of the party, or what kind of effect it is having? Because as it is right now, people are predicting that the Democrats are going to lose the House. So, yeah, so how do you, I guess as somebody who's sitting currently in office, what do you say to people who are feeling discouraged when they see that so much that could help them is constantly being blocked by somebody else that's not the president?
Yeah, and I am disappointed myself. I'm disappointed. I'm appalled that our biggest fight right now with some of this legislation is people that are on our own team. And as just regular everyday people in districts all across the country, folks don't care about who is the name that is holding a vote. They care about getting their needs met. They care about those resources that are dangling in front of them, that, oh, this is a thing. Like, oh, I can have my child care paid. My 3 and 4 year old can go to the child care center for free now, just like if they were in the 5th grade at a public school. That's a thing that can actually happen. Like, people finding out, well, I can get this child tax credit, this money every single month to help me take care of my home, take care of my children. This money that is not something that's going to make me the richest person in the world, but it will keep me from struggling as hard. It will pull me out of this place of poverty that I have been fighting and struggling in for so long. It'll help me to get stable and get on my feet. And that is a thing that we can, that money, just that somebody can make a decision and that money is there for me and so many others. But then there's also somebody that can say, you know what? Nope, you don't deserve it. That is the thing. People need to see that I have this need. I have A, B, C, and D needs. I don't need you fixing F, K, and Q. I need you working on A, B, C, and D. And that's what we were trying to bring to the people. And that's what's being stalled. That's what's being blocked. We need Build Back Better. We need every single thing in Build Back Better right now. We need the community violence prevention money. We need the money for climate action, real and true climate action. We need the money that's going to go to our nurses and our doulas, the money that goes to substance use programs. And we need that stuff right now. We need the money for housing. We have housing structures that have not, like, especially in public housing, have not been touched in 30 years, and people have to live there. We want to put the real investment there to help fix those housing units. We're saying you deserve at least your basic needs met. So we will keep fighting. And let me say this to the people listening. There are some of us in Congress that don't care about our name. Some of us that don't care about making sure we get the leadership position, making sure we get to be the one that is picked for this and picked for that, and everybody loves us within our caucus. Some of us don't care about that as much as we care about you. And some of us don't care at all. Let me just make that clear. I don't care about all of that stuff. I care about St. Louis getting their needs met. And because I know what it's like, Jemele, I know what it's like to be so hungry that you can't even think straight. I know what it's like to sleep in a car and wonder, if I close my eyes too long, is my child going to end up getting so cold that they don't wake up in the morning? I know what that's like. I know what it's like to stand in line with my WIC paper after paper after paper, and how it looks when the cashier is like, oh, somebody else with WIC, even though that's not the way it works anymore. I know what those things are like. And so how dare I know what it's like to have a police officer's boot on my face. So how dare I not fight with everything I have in me? And it's not just me, there are others as well.